The Hollywood hills are currently echoing with the screams of a betrayal so deep, so visceral, and so incredibly public that the internet is literally buckling under the weight of the fallout. We are talking about an absolute scorched earth war between two of the industry's most untouchable icons. Teyana Taylor and Harvey have just engaged in what witnesses are calling a career-ending, soul-shattering physical and verbal cage match that has left the elite social circles of Los Angeles in a state of pure, unadulterated paralysis. This isn't just a disagreement, it is a total collapse of a sisterhood, a nuclear explosion triggered by the most forbidden dating rumors in the history of the 2020s. Sources on the ground are reporting blood-chilling details of a confrontation that turned a high-profile, private engagement party into a literal combat zone. We have the leaked audio, the frantic text chains from terrified A-list guests, and the photographic evidence of the aftermath that Teyana Taylor tried, and failed, to scrub from the internet. The rumors of a secret proposal have sent Teyana into a spiral of fury that no one saw coming, and the way Harvey looked her in the eyes and laughed has changed the industry forever. Buckle up, because the mask has finally slipped, the truth is screaming, and by the end of this broadcast, you will never look at these two women the same way again. This is the moment the world stops turning, and you have a front row seat to the carnage. The Hollywood hills are currently echoing with the screams of a betrayal so deep, so visceral, and so incredibly public that the internet is literally buckling under the weight of the fallout. We are talking about an absolute scorched earth war between two of the industry's most untouchable icons. Teyana Taylor and Harvey have just engaged in what witnesses are calling a career-ending, soul-shattering physical and verbal cage match that has left the elite social circles of Los Angeles in a state of pure, unadulterated paralysis. This isn't just a disagreement, it is a total collapse of a sisterhood, a nuclear explosion triggered by the most forbidden dating rumors in the history of the 2020s. Sources on the ground are reporting blood-chilling details of a confrontation that turned a high-profile, private engagement party into a literal combat zone. We have the leaked audio, the frantic text chains from terrified A-list guests, and the photographic evidence of the aftermath that Teyana Taylor tried, and failed, to scrub from the internet. The rumors of a secret proposal have sent Teyana into a spiral of fury that no one saw coming, and the way Harvey looked her in the eyes and laughed has changed the industry forever. Buckle up, because the mask has finally slipped, the truth is screaming, and by the end of this broadcast, you will never look at these two women the same way again. This is the moment the world stops turning, and you have a front row seat to the carnage. The air inside the multi-million-dollar Beverly Hills estate was thick with the scent of expensive lilies, and the underlying electricity of a secret about to ignite. Teyana Taylor arrived looking like a vision of vengeance, her eyes scanning the room with a predatory intensity that sent a chill through the room. She didn't come for the champagne, she came for blood. For weeks, the back channels had been humming with a rumor so toxic it felt radioactive. Harvey wasn't just dating someone from Teyana's inner circle. She was reportedly the woman behind a secret, high-stakes proposal that had Teyana's name written all over the heartbreak. The name on everyone's lips was Aaron Pierre, the rising star who Teyana had publicly called her apple pie and her safe space just months prior. But that safe space had turned into a house of mirrors. The moment Teyana spotted Lori across the marble foyer, the music didn't just stop, it felt like the heartbeat of the party died. Teyana didn't wait for an introduction. She bypassed the security detail with a speed that left the guards fumbling, walking straight into Lori's personal space until their foreheads were inches apart. The silence was deafening, a vacuum of sound where only the heavy breathing of two icons remained. Teyana's voice was a low, vibrating growl, as she asked the question that has now been leaked via a frantic voice note from a nearby server. Is it true? Or are you just as fake as the ring he gave you? Harvey, the queen of composure, didn't flinch. She took a slow, deliberate sip of her drink, her eyes locked onto Teyana's with a coldness that felt like a blade. Then, she leaned in and whispered a response that caused Teyana to lose every ounce of her legendary restraint. Witnesses claim Lori's words were a direct taunt about Teyana's past and her worthiness of the love she fought so hard to protect. Lori reportedly smirked and told her that some women are meant for the struggle and some are meant for the prize. In an instant, the love to see it friendship was dead. Teyana's hand flew out, not in a slap, but in a desperate grab for the phone Lori was holding, the phone that allegedly contained the proof of the proposal. The struggle was immediate and violent. Glass shattered as a nearby table was overturned, sending 500 bottle tequila flying across the designer gowns of the horrified onlookers. This wasn't a celebrity spat. This was a primal, emotional breakdown caught on camera by a guest who has since gone into hiding. The security finally lunged in, but Teyana was a whirlwind, screaming about loyalty, betrayal, and the stolen life Lori was trying to live. As they dragged the two apart, Teyana's wig was shifted, her makeup was smeared with tears of pure rage, and she shrieked a final warning: "If that ring stays on your finger, I will burn your entire kingdom to the ground." The digital seismic sensors went off within seconds. Before the first guest had even reached their valet-parked SUV, a leaked clip of Teyana being restrained began circulating in a private Discord of top-tier influencers. In the video, you can hear Teyana's voice cracking as she screams, "He was my safe space." You knew that. The internet, already reeling from the Teyana and Aaron Pierre breakup news that hit in late December, went into a total state of emergency. But the true bombshell dropped when a verified insider on X, formerly Twitter, posted a grainy photo of what appeared to be Aaron Pierre on one knee in a private garden, with a woman whose back was to the camera. A woman sporting the exact same unique, slicked back bun and vintage Chanel earrings Harvey had worn to the party. The betrayal wasn't just romantic, it was a total assassination of Teyana's peace. Fans began dissecting Lori's previous interview with Teyana, where she spoke about not compromising her values, now labeling it a masterclass in manipulation. The sweet Tay persona vanished instantly, replaced by a woman who was ready to scorched earth the industry. By 2 a.m., the chaos had escalated into a full-blown social media war. Teyana's Instagram account began posting and quickly deleting cryptic messages that hinted at a long-term deception. One post featured a blurred image of a legal document with the caption, "I saw the receipts. I saw the dates. You were in my house while you were in his head." The dates, Teyana referred to, allegedly prove that Lori and Aaron were communicating as far back as the AMFAR Gala in Cannes, an event where Teyana and Lori were photographed laughing and showing off their fit and fine friendship. If these leaked messages are authentic, it means Harvey was plotting this takeover while Teyana was still mourning her public divorce from Iman Shumpert. The level of cold-blooded calculation is unprecedented, even for Hollywood. As the clock ticked toward dawn, a high-profile gossip blog claimed to have a secret recording from the estate's security system. The audio supposedly captures Harvey telling a friend in the powder room, "Teyana is too loud for a man like that. He needs a queen who knows how to stay quiet and collect the bag." This wasn't just a fight over a man, it was a battle over status, legacy, and the ultimate betrayal of the sisterhood. The fallout reached a fever pitch when Aaron Pierre himself broke his silence in the most devastating way possible. He didn't issue a PR statement or a black square post. Instead, he deactivated his entire social media presence after allegedly sending a final text to Teyana that has now been accidentally leaked by a member of Teyana's glam squad. The text simply read, "She gives me the peace you couldn't find." This was the killing blow. Witnesses say Teyana was found by her assistants in a state of total collapse, surrounded by shattered memorabilia and the remnants of a life she thought she was building with the British actor. But Teyana Taylor isn't a woman who stays down. By 4 a.m., she was spotted leaving her home in a dark hoodie, headed for a studio in North Hollywood. Sources say she is recording a diss track, so powerful it could end careers before the sun comes up. But as she pulled out of her driveway, a black SUV was seen following her, an SUV registered to the Harvey family's private security firm. The psychological warfare had only just begun, and the world was about to learn that Lori Harvey doesn't just take your man, she takes your narrative. Just as the first light of morning hit the hills, a new video surfaced on TikTok, showing Lori Harvey leaving the party, untouched and smiling, while holding a folder with the initials, AP, embossed in gold. What was in that folder that was worth destroying a 10-year friendship? The golden folder clutched in Lori Harvey's manicured hand wasn't just stationery, it was a death warrant for Teyana Taylor's peace of mind. As the sun began to bleed over the Los Angeles skyline, the true nature of the betrayal started to leak out of the cracks of the Harvey estate's fortified perimeter. Insiders are now confirming that the folder contained a signed, exclusive production deal that effectively hijacked Teyana's most personal creative project, a biopic she had been developing for years with Aaron Pierre as her lead. Lori hadn't just taken the man, she had taken the legacy. The proposal rumors were the perfect smokescreen, a strategic distraction to keep Teyana focused on the heart, while Lori operated on the business. By 7 a.m., a frantic, tear-streaked voice note from Teyana to her manager hit the dark web, her voice trembling with a cocktail of exhaustion and pure, unadulterated venom. She sat on my couch and watched me write those scenes. She watched me cry over the script, and now she's the executive producer. I'll die before I let her put her name on my life. The psychological warfare shifted into a terrifying new gear when Teyana's private security team reportedly intercepted a courier at the edge of her property. In the courier's bag was a single, unmarked USB drive and a note written on heavy cream cardstock that simply said, "Everything has a price, T." When Teyana's team plugged that drive in, the room went cold. It didn't contain photos of Lori and Aaron. It contained high-definition, hidden camera footage from Teyana's own home, clips of her most vulnerable moments, her private prayers, and conversations she thought were protected by the walls of her sanctuary. The implication was clear. Someone in Teyana's house had been on the Harvey payroll for months. The level of infiltration was so deep it bordered on espionage. The epic fight at the party wasn't the climax. It was the opening act of a siege designed to dismantle Teyana's mental state brick by brick. By midday, Teyana's Instagram was a ghost town. Her profile picture changed to a solid black square, but the silence was louder than any caption she could have written. While Teyana was retreating into her fortress, Lori Harvey was orchestrating a public relations masterclass that made the devil look like an amateur. She was spotted at a high-end gallery in West Hollywood, draped in vintage Vivienne Westwood, looking like she hadn't a care in the world. But it was the person she was with that sent the internet into a total meltdown. Walking 2 steps behind her, looking like a man who had finally found his master, was Teyana's former head of security, the very man who had been at Teyana's side during her most public triumphs and her darkest divorces. It was a visual checkmate that required no words. Lori was systematically stripping Teyana of her support system, her creative property, and her dignity. The Twitter wars escalated into a digital civil war as #Team Teyana began doxing the Harvey family's private business associates, only to be met with a swift and brutal response from a legion of bot accounts that flooded Teyana's mentions with a single, repeating phrase. "The apple pie has a new baker." The air turned truly toxic when a leaked FaceTime call between Lori and Aaron Pierre began circulating on Telegram. In the video, Aaron is seen laughing as Lori holds up a piece of Teyana's signature jewelry, a custom gold chain that Teyana had supposedly lost months ago. "She's still looking for this," Lori says with a giggle that sounds like glass breaking. Aaron's response was a knife to the chest of every Teyana fan. "Let her keep looking. She's looking for a ghost." The betrayal was now complete. It wasn't just a romance. It was a ritualistic humiliation of a woman who had spent her entire career fighting for respect. Teyana's response came in the form of a leaked email sent to her legal team, where she instructed them to file for a civil injunction of unprecedented proportions, citing industrial espionage, emotional battery, and theft of intellectual property. But as the lawyers began their dance, the ground shifted again. A package arrived at the offices of a major entertainment outlet containing a series of voice recordings that didn't sound like Teyana or Lori. They sounded like a third party, a silent partner, who had been funding both women's lifestyle brands for years. This mystery financier, a shadow figure with ties to international banking, was allegedly the one who forced the confrontation. The rumor suggests that Teyana and Lori were both being blackmailed into this feud to distract from a massive financial scandal that could send half of Hollywood to federal prison. The fight wasn't about a man or a movie. It was a scripted diversion gone horribly wrong, because Teyana's emotions were real, even if the premise wasn't. As the afternoon sun began to dip, a second video from the party surfaced, taken from a different angle. It shows Lori leaning in to whisper to Teyana, but this time, the audio is clearer. She doesn't say something about a ring. She says, "He's not the one you should be worried about. Look at your mother." The camera pans to Teyana's mother, Miss Nikki, who is standing in the corner of the room, looking at her daughter not with concern, but with a cold, calculating detachment that mirrored Lori's own. Teyana's world didn't just crack. It shattered into a million jagged pieces. The betrayal was coming from inside the house, from the womb, and from the woman she called her sister. The insider leaks started becoming more frequent and more disturbing, with one source claiming that Miss Nikki had signed a secret agreement with the Harveys years ago, trading Teyana's future for a permanent seat at the table. The Love to See It episode where they discussed dating red flags was now being viewed as a coded interrogation, with Lori systematically extracting information from Teyana to use against her when the time was right. Teyana's fan base, the Taylor Gang, was in a state of mourning, while the Harvey Hive celebrated the sheer efficiency of the takeover. But just as the world prepared for Teyana to concede, a final, chilling image was uploaded to an anonymous image-sharing site. It was a photo of Teyana Taylor's living room, taken minutes ago, showing a circle of salt on the floor and a series of photos of Lori Harvey burning in the center. Teyana wasn't just going to court. She was going to war in a way the industry wasn't prepared for. The cliffhanger that has the world holding its breath is a single, cryptic tweet from an account that has been dormant for 5 years, an account widely believed to be a burner for Teyana's closest confidant.
All right, y'all, we gotta behave.
The tweet simply says, "The basement is open. The tapes are playing. You have 1 hour to confess before the world sees what happened in Paris." What happened in Paris? What is in the basement? And why did Lori Harvey's smile suddenly vanish when she was seen leaving the gallery, her phone pressed to her ear as she frantically signaled for her driver? The countdown has begun, and the secrets being held in that basement are about to make the Beverly Hills fight look like a playground disagreement. Is this the end of Lori Harvey's perfect life? Or is Teyana Taylor about to lose everything in a desperate attempt to take everyone down with her? The clock struck 0, and the digital gates of hell officially swung wide. As that 1-hour ultimatum expired, a hidden link began circulating through encrypted messaging apps, leading to a site titled simply, The Paris Dossier. This wasn't just gossip. It was a total deconstruction of the Lori Harvey mythos, orchestrated by a Teyana Taylor, who had clearly decided that if she couldn't have her piece, no one would have a career. The basement tapes were revealed to be a series of high-quality surveillance recordings from a private villa in the 16th arrondissement, dated 3 years ago. The footage didn't show a proposal. It showed a cold-blooded business transaction. In the grainy, flickering light of the recording, Lori Harvey is seen sitting across from a man whose face is blurred, but whose voice is unmistakably a top-tier industry titan. They weren't talking about love. They were talking about Teyana. She's too influential, the voice says. We need to migrate her audience to someone we can control. Lori's response, delivered with a chilling, robotic calm, was the nail in the coffin. Give me 18 months. I'll be her best friend, then I'll be her replacement. The internet went into a state of absolute, paralyzed shock. This wasn't just a fight over Aaron Pierre. Aaron was a pawn, a carefully selected distraction used to trigger Teyana's known emotional triggers. The secret proposal was a fabricated event leaked by Lori's own team to provoke Teyana into a public meltdown, thereby proving the instability narrative the industry titans needed to trigger a morality clause in Teyana's multimillion-dollar contracts. The leaked messages, the stolen boyfriend, the epic fight at the party, it was all a scripted assassination. But Teyana had found the script. As the tapes played, revealing Lori's plan to systematically dismantle Teyana's brand from the inside, the hashtag #JusticeForTeyana didn't just trend. It took over the digital infrastructure. But the most explosive part of Part 3 wasn't the plan. It was the Paris secret that had both women terrified. The final tape showed the two women in a heated argument in a Parisian alleyway, standing over a mysterious black briefcase that had been discarded in a dumpster. The audio reveals they weren't enemies then. They were accomplices in a high-stakes heist of industry data that could topple the biggest labels in music. Suddenly, the epic fight at the Beverly Hills estate took on a terrifying new meaning. Teyana wasn't just screaming about a man. She was screaming because Lori had used that shared secret to blackmail Teyana into silence while she stole her life's work. The medical document, leaked earlier, was revealed to be a fake. A canary trap, set by Teyana to see who in her inner circle would leak it. The result? Every single person who had confirmed the medical leak was now exposed as a mole on the Harvey payroll. With the moles exposed, Teyana went on a final, scorched earth Instagram live. This time, there were no tears. She stood in front of a wall covered in the Paris dossier evidence, her eyes glowing with the fire of a woman who had already walked through hell. You thought you could girl boss your way through my soul? Teyana asked the camera, her voice steady and terrifying. Lori, I didn't just record you. I recorded the people who sent you. Check your bank accounts. Check your contracts. I've been the one in control for the last 48 hours. As Teyana spoke, news broke that 3 major fashion houses had instantly severed ties with Lori Harvey, citing ethical violations found within the leaked dossier. The It Girl was becoming an industry pariah in real time. But Lori wasn't going down without a final, desperate parry. She released a video of her own, filmed in the back of a moving car, claiming that Teyana had manipulated the footage using deepfake technology. She's desperate, Lori said, her voice trembling for the first time. She's trying to destroy me, because she can't handle that the world has moved on. But the rebuttal fell flat. The metadata on the Paris tapes was verified by independent digital forensics experts within minutes, confirming their authenticity. The betrayal was real. The conspiracy was real. And the fallout was just beginning. The final blow came when Aaron Pierre himself re-emerged on social media, not to defend Lori, but to issue a public apology to Teyana. I was a tool in a game I didn't understand, his post read. Teyana, you were always the queen. I was just a ghost in her machine. The chaos transitioned from the screen to the streets, when a group of Teyana's most dedicated fans, the Taylor Guards, staged a massive protest outside the Harvey family's compound, demanding the return of Teyana's stolen intellectual property. The police were called, but the optics were devastating. A line of black SUVs shielded by private security, while a legendary artist's life was being liquidated behind closed doors. Inside the house, sources say Lori was in a state of total catatonia, watching her follower count drop by the hundreds of thousands every minute. How perfect life was a house of cards, and Teyana Taylor had just blown the doors off the foundation. But just as the world thought Teyana had won, a final, cryptic message appeared on the Paris Dossier website. It was a countdown timer, set for midnight, with the heading, "The silent partner reveals himself." The identity of the financier, who had been pulling the strings for both women, was the ultimate cliffhanger. Rumors began to swirl that it wasn't a businessman at all, but a former mentor of Teyana's, who had a grudge dating back a decade. Someone who knew where all the bodies were buried, because he had helped dig the graves. As the timer ticked down, the celebrity world held its collective breath. This wasn't just a fight between two women anymore. It was a revolution against the very structures of fame. Teyana's final post of the night was a picture of her and her daughters, captioned, "We're leaving the burning house. Don't look back." Was she quitting the industry? Was she going into hiding? Or was this the start of a new, independent empire built on the ashes of her enemies? The screen went black, leaving millions of viewers in a state of absolute, feverish addiction to the drama. The war for the crown had ended, but the battle for the truth was only beginning. This is the most explosive, life-altering moment in the history of this channel, and if you are not subscribed right now, you are effectively choosing to stay in the dark while the world burns. We are the only ones with the decrypted keys to the Paris Dossier, the only ones who know the name of the silent partner, and the only ones brave enough to show you the footage the labels are trying to sue us into deleting. Do you see what happens when you trust the wrong people? Do you see how fast a sisterhood can turn into a slaughterhouse? You cannot afford to miss a single second of what's coming next. The midnight reveal is going to change the face of Hollywood forever, and we will be live streaming the fallout as it happens. If you want to see the Harvey empire crumble and Teyana Taylor take her rightful throne, you must hit that like button, subscribe, and smash that notification bell like your life depends on it. Comment Team Teyana or Laurie's Lies below to let us know where you stand in this digital war. The countdown is at 10 minutes. The truth is coming. Don't be the only one left wondering what happened when the lights went out.